Bill Wilbert here with another demo. This time, Grand Perspective, a program that lets me see the files on my computer by size. So this is the drive on my MacBook Pro. And every one of the little squares here is just part of Grand Perspective, showing me the files on that hard drive. I'm going to click on a blue square right here. It's kind of a big blue square. And if I go down to the lower left-hand corner, I can see that that's the iMovie application. All the other blue ones, I can hover over them and see what's going on, though you may not be able to see on the screen. But all the other ones are also applications. So these are all applications. And if I wanted to free up space, getting rid of the little ones isn't going to help me much. Getting rid of the big ones, I'm going to free space. In the lower right-hand corner, I can see how big the file actually is. So iMovie is 2.27 gigabytes. Let's find another one here. Luminar 4, that's a photo app, 784 megabytes. GarageBand, 752 megabytes. Well, I don't use GarageBand. I could delete that and save that memory. So by seeing how big they are without having to look at the numbers, I can tell you where I can save space. Now, if you look at the whole screen, you'll see some really humongous rectangles. Let's take a look at this one up at the top, kind of center to the left. That's my photos library. Don't mess with that unless you want to lose your photos. Down below it is my iMovies library. Well, I'm making these YouTube videos and I'm not going to mess with that one either. Over on the left is another red one. What's that one? That's a tabletop simulator application. That's a program that I use to play games with my son down in Miami. I don't want to delete that. And here's another big one, a big yellow one up here at the top, and it is the sleep image. That is, when your computer goes to sleep, it's got to write everything off to the disk, to SSD, so that the computer can actually sleep without power and all. Well, that's where it puts it. So don't mess with that. So there are some things you don't want to mess with, and that aren't things that will save you space because the system needs them. And there are other things that you can. One of the interesting things to me is I kind of take my mouse and go over an area and look at the location in the lower left-hand corner. Well, this is all Evernote stuff. So these are things that Evernote has stored on my computer. Over here, whoa, these are all attachments to messages. Do you get messages, pictures attached to messages? In our family, we send them all the time. Well, they're all stored on the computer. Sometime maybe I can show you how to get rid of those using iMessage if you want to. Save them externally and then lighten up the load on your iOS devices and your computer. But anyway, this whole folder are message attachments. And let me show you a trick of the program here too. If I click on something, then I move the mouse and nothing changes because whatever I've selected is locked in place. Then if I go up to the top here and click on this focus icon, I can expand the focus, and sometimes it takes a couple clicks. And now I've gotten, if you look at the back in the lower left-hand corner, you can see that I'm in Messages Attachments. And now go to the lower right-hand corner, and you can see that I have 6.65 gigabytes of attachment. Now, I don't have a huge hard drive here. I've only got a 256 gig hard drive, so 7 gigabytes of attachments might be too much for me, and I might want to thin that out. I might want to get rid of all those, save them off to an external disk, and start over with pictures. But that's a different topic. Right now we're just talking about this program, Grand Perspective, that shows me what files are on my computer and how big they are, so that I can manipulate them if I want to. Let me show you what happens when you launch Grand Perspective. It gives you a welcome screen and asks you to select a folder. I say fine, double click on it, and it selects my hard drive. I can select any folder inside of it or any folder inside that or whatever, but I'm going to do the whole hard drive. I click scan and it starts scanning. Now it will take about 3 to 4 minutes on my hard drive. It is an SSD and a fairly new MacBook Pro. Could take longer or shorter for you. Let me cut this here and come back when it's done. So my scan is completed. You can see the image is a little different location than it was before. I'm going to double click to enlarge it. And I should point out that the relative locations of these changes. So if I make this smaller, they'd hop around. So don't get confused by that. They've got some algorithm to try to figure out where to put it to make them all nice rectangles and all. But it's just a relative size. There is a configuration, preferences, and one of the things is enable deletion. And you can actually delete files and folders from within Grand Perspective. So if you get good at it and say, oh, I'm just going to delete all these files or something, you can do it. But by default, it starts with nothing, as it should. There's some other options you might want to play with here. But that's all it is. You click on it, it scans your device, shows you a nice picture of what's there, what files are there, lets you see how big they are, what their names are, see what's going on. Grand Perspective is an interesting program because you can get it from the App Store or you can download it from the developer. From the App Store, I've just opened the App Store app and I search for Grand Perspective. And this is the app right here. It says open because I've already got it. And here's a story about it. And you can click on that and get more information. And I'm sure a much better video than I'm making explaining the different colors and some of the features of it and that stuff. So if you're interested, you might want to take a look at that. Otherwise, you can just go to the Grand Perspective page, see the preview and all, and download it from there. I believe it costs $2.99 right now from the App Store. The other way you can get it is from the web, from the developer. So I'm going to search for Grand Perspective. And I happen to use DuckDuckGo because I don't like Google. I don't like Google search. So, but it comes up right at the top, Grand Perspective, SourceForge.net. SourceForge is where developers can put their programs and code so that other people can get to it. So I'm going to click on that. And that takes me to the developers page. They describe, you can download it now from them or get it from the App Store. Get the same app either way. This doesn't have any technical stuff that goes into the inside of the Mac or anything like that, so you can just download it off the web and you're getting the full version. So all you have to do to download it is click on the download now, install it, and you're done. Let me do that. Download will start shortly. Don't think you saw it, but it's up here. I click on it. There it is. It is a disk image, so I double click on that. Again, this is in Safari. It mounts it. It doesn't do the nice disk image where you can just drag it. So I have to get this over to my applications folder. My Finder window currently doesn't show my folders and things over here, so I'm going to go up to View and Show Sidebar. I've turned mine off. Yours may be on by default. And then I look down here for Applications, and that's where I'm going to want to put it. So let me go back to where I was, grab Grand Perspective, and put it into Applications. When you get done, in Applications, you'll see Grand Perspective, and you can run it from there. I hope this has been helpful. It's another in the Tech Demos for You series by Bill Vilberg. I really enjoy doing these, and I wish you a best day.